Om Namo Venkateshaya. Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahma Nideye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha Yasya Smarana Matrena Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchyate Namastasmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. So we saw the meaning of the name Nama Prabhu yesterday. Let's move on to the next Nama. Ishvaraha. Nirupadikamai Aishwaryam Asyati Ishvaraha. That means by nature he has got this ability to Isha. Isha means exercising control over others. That's what is called as Ishatvam. So that means Bhagavan by nature has got that, and therefore is called as Ishvaraha. Ishana Shiladi Ishvaraha. Ishebhyo Vara iti. That means there are two ways of looking at it. One is able to command over others and give them orders. For example, Bhagavan, when he creates this universe, he appoints the various demigods like Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Agni, and so many, Yama, and so many other things, and then he gives them, delegates them the powers, and also gives them orders and instructions as to what they should do. Therefore, it's called as Ishvara. Ademar is like, these are also called as Ishas, like, the Brahma, and then Parameshwara, and then all those people are also called as Isha. Varaha means the best among all those Ishas, among all those people, is Bhagavan himself, because he is the person from whom all these things, all these people derive their power from, and therefore is called as Ishvaraha. Next sloka is Swayambhu Shambhuraditya Pushkaraksho Mahasvanaha Anadinidano Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. The namas are Swayambhu Shambhu Aditya Pushkaraksha Mahasvanaha Anadinidanaha Dhata Vidhata Dhaturuttamaha. Swayambhu. Swayameva Bhavati iti Swayambhu. We saw that in the Nama yesterday. That is Sambhavaha. One who can incarnate in this universe out of his own will and volition. So therefore he is not under compulsion like us, to be born out of our karmas or vasanas. He doesn't have any vasanas or karmas. His only job is to re-establish dharma, and at that point of time he takes a sankalpa. Yes, that's what I'll take avatara, and therefore he decides to and takes on his own. Sarvesham upari bhavati swayam bhavati iti va swayambhuhu. Swayameva swatantro bhavati na paratantraha. That means one is independent. That is, he is not bound to anybody else. So he is the ultimate God, and therefore there is nobody else beyond him, and therefore he is swatantra. That means he is independent and he is not dependent. Na paratantra means he is dependent. He is not dependent on anybody else, and therefore he is called as Swayambhuhu. Swayameva bhavati iti Swayambhuhu. That means one who is born on his own will is called as Swayambhuhu. Shambhuhu. Sham Shukam Bhaktanam Bhavayati iti Shambhuhu. Sham means Sukam, that means happiness. One who is able to give happiness to his devotees, and therefore is called as Shambhuhu. Parameshwara is also called Shambhu. Evam Swasaundarya Sausalyadi Gunadi Vishkaranena Sham Shukam Bhavayati iti Shambhu. That means because of his qualities, like Saulabhyam. Saulabhyam is derived from this the word Sulabha. Sulabha means very easily approachable through bhakti. So his quality is Saulabhya. Sausalyam is his ability to move with the different types of people. For example, in Ramachandra, when incarnate as Ramachandra Murti, he was able to move with Guha, who was this boatsman. He was able to move with Sugriva, who was a Vanara. He was able to move with Vibhishna, who was an Asura. So all those things, he was able to move freely with the different types of people. That is called as Susila Gunam, Sausilam. So by all these kind of qualities, he is able to bring about happiness in the minds of the people because of his good qualities, and therefore he is called. Whenever you think of some good person, there is some kind of happiness comes in our mind. Similarly, when you think of Bhagavan, because of all these qualities and these various leelas, we are able to get happiness, and he is able to generate that kind of an happiness in the devotees, and therefore he is called as Swayambhuhu. Shambhuhu. Adityaha. Aditehe putra iti Adityaha. That means, as I told you, the Kashyapa Rishi had a number of wives. One of the wives is Aditi, and Aditi had 12 children, and they are called as Aditya. All the 12 children are called as Adityas. For example, Indra was the first son, then the Surya is also called as Aditya because he is Aditi's son. So it's different people. And then last among them is Bhagavan incarnated as Vamana Avatara. In his Vamana Avatara, Bhagavan came as son of Aditi and Kashyapa, and therefore he is called as Aditya. Aditi's son, and therefore he is called as Aditya. Other meaning is one who is residing in this Surya Mandala, Arka Mandala, Aditya Mandala, and therefore is called as Aditya. In fact, in this Sandhya Vandana mantra we say, no, Deyasada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti Narayana Sarasijasana Sannivishta Keyuravan Makara Kundalavan Kiriti Hari Hiranyamayapu Dhrita Shankachakra Gadapane Dwaraka Nilayachita Govinda Pundarikacha Rachamam Sharanagam. That means Deyasada Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti. So he is residing in the middle of the Surya Mandalam along with Mahalakshmi Devi, and therefore is called as Aditya. Pushkaraksha. Pushkarena upameti achini yasiti pushkaracha. One was Pushkara refers to lotus flower. Bhagavan who has got eyes like the lotus flower. So he is called as Pushkaraksha. That is one of the qualities, one of the identifications of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu, the only person who has got eyes like lotus flower, and therefore he is called as Pushkaraksha. Mahasvanaha. Mahan pujita svanaha nado. Shruti lakshano yasyava. That means Maha means great, Svanaha means sound. Great sound is what? Bhagavan has got this Vedas. The Vedas are the great sounds. Great sounds not in the physical sense also, because when you utter it with the proper pronunciation, it has got the great sound. In terms of its effect on the whole universe, that is also great, and therefore Mahasvanaha. That vibration that creates in the whole universe, Bhagavan has got that great Svanaha, that this Vedas under him, and therefore he is called as Mahasvanaha. Other meaning is Mahan Pujya Svanaha Shabdo Asyati. Other meaning is Svana also sound, that means Bhagavan's names, the various namas, the Vishnu Sahasranama, the 1,000 names, and all those things, they are also great namas, because there is no difference between the nama and the nami. For example, in Ramacharitmanas, Tulsidas ji discusses about who is great, Rama or Ramanama. So finally he concludes that there is no difference between Rama and Ramanama. Both Nami also refers to the Nama, because when the Rama is there only, then the Ramanama will be there. So that means that Nama is subservient to that Nami, and therefore it is also same as Nama, Bhagavan himself. And that has also has a very great effect. The Nama Sankirtanam is the only thing that which will provide us the salvation in this particular Yuga, Kali Yuga. And Bhagavan has that great Bhagavan Namas, and therefore is called as Mahasvanaha. Anadi Nidanaha. Adi means beginning, Nidana means end, and A means opposite. Is beginningless and endless. So Adihi Janmaha, Nidanam Vinashaha, Tadvayam Yasyana Vidyate Saha, Anadi Nidanaha. Adi also refers to birth. Nidana means death. Bhagavan doesn't have birth and death in the sense of what we have. No, our birth and death are different from Bhagavan's avatar. That means he comes on his own, and then he goes back once that appointed period of his established dharma is over. So that means Bhagavan is without any beginning and end, without any janma or mrityu, and therefore is called as Anadi Nidraha. Other meaning is Nitya Yavvanataya Jani Jara Adiruta Dura Nitya Vigraha. That means since he is always looking, Yuva, in that Vaikunta, there is no birth, no death, no Jara. That means there is no old age or no Vikaras. That means any modifications, nothing is applicable to him, and therefore is called as Anadi Nidanaha. That is without any. If something has got Adi and Adi and then Nidana, that means when something has beginning, that means there was a time when it was not there. Then only it say when something is born, or when it starts existing. Similarly, when something is ending, that means there is a time it won't be there. So that means Bhagavan was present in the past, present now, present will be present in the future, and there is no time when he will not be there, and therefore he is called as Anadi Nidraha. Dhata Anantadi Rupena Vishwam Bibharti iti Dhata. This entire universe is supposed to be born on the head of Adisesha, and therefore is called as is the supporter. Dhata means one who is supporting this, and therefore is called as Dhata. That is one. Dhata Dharana Poshakascha. That means one is not only supporting, he is also helping, protecting that, and then sustaining it, and therefore he is also helping it to grow, and therefore is called as Dhata. Other meaning of Dhata is one is sustaining it, not in the physical sense, of course. His physical sense is also being supported. Apart from the physical sense, he is also providing the necessary materials required for sustenance of the various living beings, in terms of providing the food, providing the air, the pranavayu, then providing the water required for all these people for sustenance. In that sense also he is protecting it. That is, it's easy to create something, but to sustain it you need to provide what are the things that are required for its own sustenance. And Bhagavan is the person who is able to provide all those, this required for the sustenance of this universe, and therefore he is called as Dhata, both in physical sense of bearing it as well as in terms of sustaining it. It's the sustaining the existence itself, and therefore is called as Dhata. So I think we'll see the other namas in the next class. Om Namo Venkateshaya.